We are at Jamestown Campground in Jamestown, North Dakota.
And this is a campground review. Make sure you stay to the end to find out the parts of this campground that we loved and hated during our stay. General impressions.
This is a small, converted KOA campground with potential.
The cost for us was $38 per night, and that was with the Good Sam's membership. It costs around $42 for non-members. We feel that value is pretty good for the amenities that are on offer. Campground.
This campground has 48 pull-through sites, some of which are buddy sites. It's spacious, well laid out, and is in the middle of a hayfield.
We stayed in campsite number 39. Our campsite was grass with some dirt. It didn't have any gravel for the pad, and there were some rather large grooves that had been made by a large rig when the ground was soft. It was fairly level front to back and right to left. We had 50 and 30 amp, so hashtag 50 and full hookups.
It does have a picnic table, but it does not have a fire ring.
Or a grill.
Nope.
They do offer propane refill and a dump station.
The campground does have free Wi-Fi, however, it is not good enough to do really anything, including a speed test.
It's true.
Verizon Wireless is good enough for conference calls, emails, and some streaming. It is a bit slower than Starlink, but it is very consistent. Starlink, on the other hand, although faster, not very consistent at our campsite.
We did struggle a few times with conference calls and streaming that it started buffering on us.
Although I-94 is located right outside the campground, it is relatively quiet, but it can be heard at the campsites. Amenities.
There was one bathhouse, and it does have showers and toilets. They are a little out of date, but they're relatively clean. They have one dumpster, and it is centrally located. They do have a laundry room, and it's open 24 hours. They have 4 washers and 4 dryers, and it's $2 for each. They do not have a pool at this campground, but they do have a playground for the kids. Dog friendliness.
This campground was a bit of a mixed bag for us. They are dog friendly, and they have an off-leash dog park that does have a nice double gate. They even have trails for walking your dog on that have dog pickup stations with trash cans, and the most important part is
they're fully stocked.
But most of the green spaces in the park have no dog allowed signs posted everywhere, and even on the map it says certain areas are no dogs allowed. Camp store.
They have a small camp store with ice cream, firewood, and ice for sale, as well as a few RV essentials. There's also a super Walmart that's about 3.5 miles away. Camp staff interactions.
We had multiple interactions with the camp staff, but they didn't really make us feel like we wanted to extend our stay.
We didn't really have any issues while we were here. They just didn't leave us with warm fuzzies. Additional information.
This campground has over a mile of really dusty washboard gravel roads with some pretty deep potholes that you have to go through before you can get to your campground.
That's right, so you're definitely going to want to take this slow so you don't rearrange any of the refrigerator or pantry.
And maybe drive really fast without your trailer.
If you know, you know.
And now for our favorite part of campground reviews, where we bust or confirm those 1-star reviews you find on Google.
Most of the 1-star reviews for this particular campground were before these owners took ownership, so we don't really feel like that's a fair representation of what they're trying to do here. The more recent ones really didn't leave any feedback to bust or confirm, so we kind of feel gypped, like we wanted to get out here and make some silly shenanigans for you guys. Yeah. There was one recent one about the owners being rude, as we already said before. It seems like maybe it's just a miscommunication. The owners seem to be trying to correct perhaps sullied reputation when it was a previous campground. So for now, we're leaving this as the owners seem to be trying. Now the part where we call it love it or hate it, our favorite and least favorite parts of the campground. But before we get to that, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps our channel continue to grow, and it's free. Plus, it makes sure that you don't miss another one.
Well, whenever I went to walk Kayla, I always had to be conscious of where she was going, you know, to make sure that she wasn't going on the sacred grass.
Not on this side of the road.
Because they love their grass here. So my least favorite part of this campground, the part that I hate, was how restrictive they are to where your dogs can go.
My least favorite part of this campground was the area seemed really unwelcoming to outsiders. Several places that we went to go eat or go visit just really felt like we weren't welcome. I mean, there were several places in a row that we went to go eat, and we ended up having to leave because they were serving locals instead of us. They just kept passing us by even though they saw us standing there. They didn't acknowledge us, they didn't serve us, so we just had to leave. Let's leave all that behind us and move on to the things we loved about this campground. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part of this campground is how close it is to the town. It's literally one exit up from the main town. You're really close to the Walmart. You know, it's close, and that's nice.
My favorite part was the giant buffalo and the frontier village. It was a fun place. I mean, you could also do it if you're just passing through as a roadside attraction, but if you want to stay and spend longer, you could do that as well. And it was educational. It was inexpensive. I like to call it like my free quest. It's $5 for the entire family. I mean, that's close enough to free. And it was fun. Hey guys, quick update for you. After we left Jamestown Campground, we got a call that night asking us if we had left the campground. I was worried that we'd left something behind, but I said, yes, we have. And he said, well, we had you in here for 7 nights. We gave you a discount based on the fact you're going to be here 7 nights. And I said, well, when I checked in, you told us 6. So I started going back through my emails and trying to figure it out. And I was a little confused by what he was saying. And I said, well, this is how much you charged us. And he said, well, that's the 7-night rate. And I said, so there's a discount for a weekly rate? And he said, yes. And I said, well, I'm confused. Why didn't you tell me that when I booked the reservation? And he laughed at me and said, why would I tell you that? I was just kind of surprised because most people tell you there's a weekly rate if there's a weekly rate. And then I started trying to understand, like, so you're going to charge us $30 more for 6 nights than you would for a week rate. It was very confusing. And I was trying to understand and asking some additional clarification questions, at which point he told me,
don't get riled up.
And I was talking to him like this. And I said, I'm not riled up. I'm just asking clarification questions.
At which point his wife got on the phone and she explained that, well, she had charged us the mistake came and the confusion came from she gave us a discount by charging us the 7-night rate that we didn't know about, and that our stay was actually just supposed to be 6 nights. And while Amy was confirming what they had actually charged us so that we could make sure that they had given us the discount, she said, well, if
you got charged the 6-night rate,
that's what was correct anyway, so
if we charged you $30 more, then that was fair anyway. At which point there was a long pause on the phone, and I asked if we were done with the conversation because they were the ones who called us, and we got off the phone. So just word to the wise, if after watching this campground review you still want to stay at Jamestown, we definitely recommend the 7-night hidden discount rate as opposed to the 6-night because they are not going to tell you about it. If you like this campground review, or if you'd like to see other places that we've stayed, please check them out over here. Or if you'd like to see what adventures we got into while we were here, like the Frontier Village and touching the buffalo beard. I don't think I should do that. That seems like that's a dirty thing.
It kind of does seem like that.
I think that's not okay to do. Touch the buffalo's beard. You can check it out in our blog up here.